Duolingo has consistently been regarded as one of the only apps available which teaches new languages, but also keeps users engaged. The app was initially launched in 2011, with the initial vision being to create a free, accessible, and engaging platform for language learning. The founders, Severin Hacker and Luis von Ahn, were inspired by the high cost of English education in their home countries of Sweden and Guatemala. And both founders shared a vision of making language learning accessible to everyone worldwide. Thanks to Duolingo's strong marketing through quirky characters and social features like leaderboards, it has remained a preferred choice over more traditional and duller alternatives. The gamification of language learning is one of Duolingo's greatest strengths, and each update since the app's release in 2011 has only leaned further into this model. And despite the strategy being one of Duolingo's greatest strengths over time, it hasn't been without controversy. As we see very often in the app space, Duolingo has had the challenge of monetizing and modernizing while attempting to not ruin its user experience. Luis already had a strong technical background. He had created the CAPTCHA and reCAPTCHA systems, which were later acquired by Google. He brought his background in human-computer interaction and gamification to the development of Duolingo. The dual-purpose model of CAPTCHA gave users fun tasks to do while extracting useful data. It helped digitize books, label and classify images, and improve AI training datasets. This heavily influenced Duolingo's original design. After securing Series A funding for around $3.3 million US, the app launched with the ambition of offering free education while attempting to find a successful monetization model. Although they initially considered making Duolingo a not-for-profit, it was deemed unsustainable. As a solution, Duolingo began asking users to translate real-world documents as language practice. Effectively, this turned the app into a crowdsourced translation engine. The company would partner with organizations like CNN and BuzzFeed, providing them with translations generated by the user base. The model cleverly mirrored Luis's work with the reCAPTCHA. Users performed seemingly simple tasks, but behind the scenes, those inputs powered larger systems used by enterprise corporations. For example, a non-English speaker who was learning English would translate English content into their native language. This would improve their skills while also generating translatable data that Duolingo could then sell. This allowed Duolingo to remain free for users while still being able to monetize. When it officially launched to the public in June of 2012, more than 300,000 users signed up within weeks, entirely through word-of-mouth marketing. From the beginning, Duolingo has presented itself as a beginner-friendly, simple learning lesson platform in contrast to more rigid and academic solutions. However, problems soon surfaced. Despite the gamification of learning, many users only engaged briefly with the app before quitting, realizing that learning a new language was in fact way more difficult than they expected. Meanwhile, the translation-based monetization model didn't scale well, and it failed to ensure the quality needed for serious business applications, deterring potential enterprise clients. Still, the early spike in user interest and engagement indicated that the founders were really onto something. They observed that while serious learners stuck around, most users were drawn in by the fun and gamified features. So Duolingo doubled down on the gamification strategy. They introduced an XP system that allowed users to track and compare progress, a streak system to encourage daily practice, and a virtual currency called lingots, and later gems. These lingots would be earned through completing lessons and maintaining streaks, and they were spendable on cosmetic items for the mascots and bonus lessons within the platform. All of this marked a major shift towards Duolingo feeling more like a mobile game rather than a learning platform. As user engagement rose over time, Duolingo introduced new monetization methods. In 2016, they launched the Duolingo English Test, an online proficiency exam for international students applying to US universities. The test quickly gained traction for its convenience, accessibility, and lower cost at $59, compared to traditional TOEFL and IELTS exams, which can cost over $200. This became a significant revenue stream, bringing in roughly $45 million in revenue in 2024. A year later, in 2017, Duolingo would introduce its first subscription service, Duolingo Plus, and this was one of the most controversial updates. It would introduce the addition of ads between lessons or after mistakes, encouraging users to pay for an ad-free experience. The move was heavily criticized, since the app's original intention was to remain completely ad-free. However, since this is a really common monetization strategy for apps, and users were already accustomed to seeing ads in other apps, Most of them begrudgingly accepted the change. That same year, Duolingo opted for the removal of free infinite tries, and this really upset initial longtime users. But what actually ended up happening is that this resulted in attracting more users to the platform. The increased stakes made learning feel more thrilling. Mistakes meant losing hearts and having to wait before continuing. This intensified the competitive aspect of the app and made leaderboard rankings more meaningful. While many longtime users left, overall user growth continued, and the company was actually making money. So Duolingo naturally saw this as the path forward. In the following years, Duolingo further transformed. They leaned heavily into the gamification aspect, very similar to how Robinhood uses a simple interface to make investing more streamlined and gamified. Duolingo claimed that these changes kept users learning longer, but critics argued that users had effectively become players who were hooked on a gamified social app disguised as a language learning tool. Despite these ongoing critiques, Duolingo remained popular, especially among younger users who enjoyed the memes, in-game characters, and fun marketing on social media. And it was in 2023 that Duolingo began integrating AI into the app for the first time. While the core lessons remained unchanged, new features like on-demand AI tutoring and role-play conversations were introduced under a new subscription tier called Duolingo Max. This was meant to mark as a shift towards appealing to a new generation of users, though most longtime users felt that AI did not belong on this app. And understandably so. Why would a language learning app meant for teaching people to connect with other people use AI to teach them? Most users felt that this was a step in the wrong direction and dehumanized the language learning process. This would lead to the biggest controversy yet. In early 2025, an internal email from CEO Luis von Ahn, posted publicly, revealed plans to make Duolingo an AI-first company. He likened this to previous bold decisions that had helped Duolingo grow and claimed this platform shift was necessary, as all companies would soon move in the same direction. This meant that future Duolingo content would be generated by AI and that AI features would become a central selling point of the app. The most controversial aspect of the message, though, related to Duolingo replacing contractors and employees with AI. In 2023, around 10% of the contractor workforce was laid off, with further cuts in 2024 and 2025. Many users viewed this as a betrayal, not just workers, but of the average user the platform was built for. Critics feared that the app was becoming a glorified chatbot and that the content would degrade into generic AI slop, and the response from the company absolutely did not help. Luis defended the decision, stating that AI would only handle manual tasks, freeing up human workers for creative work. Duolingo's marketing team tried to lighten the mood with memes, just as they had in the past, but this time the user base didn't find it funny. Users didn't find the response cute the way they had in the past. They felt their concerns were not being taken seriously. The social media backlash intensified, and all of Duolingo's social channels went dark. They removed all profile pictures and posts, and updated the bios with cryptic messages like "Gone for now, 123." This was meant to be a cheeky little character stunt, but was seen as an absolute PR meltdown. Even the official Duolingo subreddit has turned against the company, with many serious language learners urging people to try alternative apps. Despite strong performance in 2025, including a 38% revenue increase, the latest controversy leaves Duolingo's future a little uncertain. The company has used AI to create 148 new language courses in under a year. This is a process that previously would have taken more than a decade, but many users still remain skeptical. They worry about the trade-offs between speed and quality and what Duolingo will become if it continues down this path. Whether the AI-first strategy will benefit or harm Duolingo in the long term is still pretty unclear. But without a doubt, the AI shift has marked the biggest turning point and the biggest backlash that the company has ever faced. Thank you for watching Heavy Signal. My name is Nick. If you're interested in seeing more business-related content like that, definitely consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.